Dementia is the focus of our 7 Health segment today. It turns out that all the puzzles you've been playing in quarantine might be good for you. Our 7 News medical expert, Dr. Cedrek McFadden, is here, and we want to talk about dementia in terms of inevitability. Is it inevitable as we age, Dr. C?
So many people think that's the case, which makes it a little bit challenging for people to approach getting older if they think this is what's coming for them. But the data shows something that's different. The data shows that it's not inevitable. The data shows that you can make into your 80s, into your 90s without having a severe mental deterioration or cognitive decline that's common in dementia. So that's different than what many people think, which is good news for most of us.
Well, most of us, we forget a key or can't find something, and we're like, oh no, what's happening? Yeah. What is the difference between normal aging and forgetfulness versus dementia?
Well, let's first remember that nearly 40% of people who are 65 years or older will have some form of memory loss, and that's a normal part of aging. So whether or not you call one kid by a different name, or whether or not you can't remember, a memory from 20 years ago, that's pretty common and probably part of the normal aging process. But what's not normal is forgetting your way to work when you've driven the same way for the past 20 or 30 years. Or perhaps you can't remember your close family, your friend's name, you can't recognize them, or in more severe cases, you forget how to do the basic things such as get dressed, brush your teeth, or do laundry, the things that you've done for many years, but all of a sudden now you've lost the ability to do those things.
And when it comes to those who are most at risk for having dementia, who would those folks be?
Well, as you age, the risk certainly goes up. You also have increased risk if you have a family history of dementia. People with Down syndrome also have an increased risk, perhaps in the middle age, of having early onset. But even our health and our lifestyle choices may influence our risk of dementia. So if you smoke or if you drink alcohol excessively, that may increase the risk. Certainly also heart disease, obesity, and diabetes may do the same.
And when it comes to prevention, what can we do? We talked about the quarantine puzzles, those activities that kind of make you think and use all kinds of parts of your brain that you may not use in a regular day. What do we need to be doing to try to prevent it?
Well, there are things that you can do to modify those risk factors. We've talked about having a healthy aging process. Well, healthy aging leads to a healthy brain as you age, and so making sure that you aren't smoking, that you aren't drinking. But the puzzles are a great way to start, and it doesn't really, mean that you have to wait until you're 60 to start these puzzles. Some of the data shows that the earlier you start these things, even in the middle age years, that's building your cognitive catalog. It's kind of getting you ready for that process as you get older, and so making sure that you're staying stimulated mentally. You're continually learning. You're always reading. You're doing new things. You're going out with family and friends and staying quite active.
And at what age do we focus on this in terms of the risk and modifying the risk for dementia? When do we really need to be taking the action?
Well, historically, we focused on it in the middle and older years. But recent presentations at the Alzheimer's Association, there was an international conference, he talked about this and said, people in their teens and 20s can do a whole lot to prepare themselves and to reduce that risk of dementia later in life. So that means we're having these conversations earlier with teenagers who are obese, who may be smoking, who are doing some of those lifestyle things that may make them more at risk. We have to focus on prevention, and that may start much earlier than middle age or older years.
Dr. C, thanks. We have to head to this special report about the pick by former Vice President Joe Biden. He's running for president, and apparently he's made his vice presidential pick.
Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden has chosen Kamala Harris as his running mate. Harris is 56 years old, a former federal prosecutor, a former attorney general of the state of California, and she has represented that state in the Senate since 2017. The announcement was made just moments ago via text message to supporters. Some 83 days are left between now and Election Day, but even before Joe Biden officially clinched the Democratic Party's nomination for president back in early June, he had made clear he